Okay, hello there, it's me, the Lit Teacher, and this is a roller coaster ride through the CAA Literacy Writing Co-requisite. I've done a longer video explaining how it is marked. It goes for about 20 minutes. You can watch it on my channel, but if you want the whistle-stop version, here it is. I'm going to be moving quickly. Let's go. I'm going to talk about how the assessment works, what we've seen in the past, touch on how it is marked, and then a few pieces of advice at the end. How does it work? There are three questions. Question 1, 2, 3. Question 1 and 2 ask you to do some writing, okay? So this is where a lot of the work is happening. You are given a prompt, you are told a purpose for the writing that you have to do and an audience that you're writing. It may be that you're writing a letter to your headmaster asking them to sponsor a school event or something like that. You're told what you are writing about and who you're writing for. Question 1 asks you to write 150 to 250 words. It's a little bit shorter than question 2, which is asking for 250 to 350 words. There can be a big variety in the different types of texts you are asked to write. We'll look at a slide in a few moments that breaks down what we've seen in the past. Now, the prompts, as I mentioned before, they'll give you a purpose and an audience. You got to pay really close attention to that because that's the key to getting it right the first time around. And you may need to write formally or informally depending on what you're being asked to do. 9 times out of 10, my friends, you should probably write formally. I'm going to say that's a safer option for you. Now, question 3 is 8 multi-choice questions on punctuation and vocabulary. So let's talk more about question 1 and 2, which is where the writing happens. What have we seen in the past? In question 1, we've seen some variety. So students have been asked to write social media posts, emails about volunteering, emails thanking people, descriptions of experiences to kind of sell their town to other people, emails to career advisors, the list goes on. For question 2, the longer one, 250 to 350 words, typically in the last few years there have been articles, and they've been articles for school or community websites or magazines, a different variety of topics each time, but article has been the text type. So that's what we've seen in the past. How is it marked? There are 4 areas: content, structure and organization, language choices, and accuracy. This is what the mark scheme looks like. I know that's a whole lot to digest and comprehend, but you can find this on the NZQA website if you really want to look at it. I'll try and put a link in the bio so you can find it more easily. Basically, down the left you can see the 4 areas you're marked against, and the different colored boxes are the sliding marking scale. If you're in the gray, light red, or yellow, you are not across the line. If you're in the green boxes, you're good to go. Okay, you need to be in the green boxes for all 4 of those areas if you're going to pass. If you get 3 of them in the green and 1 in the yellow, you're going to have to do it again the next time. So each one is as important as the other. Content is the first one. What is content? It's all about the ideas. Basically, are the ideas in your writing good? Are they relevant to what you've been asked to write? Are you thinking about why you're writing and who you're writing for, and do your ideas suit that? Are your ideas simple, or do you develop them and expand on them with evidence and detail? That is the key to nailing it in terms of content. That is going to get you into the green boxes. Structure and organization is the next one. This basically means, is your writing well organized? Does it have a clear beginning, middle, and end? Are you writing in paragraphs and sentences? Are your paragraphs themselves structured? And do things across your writing connect, or does it feel a little bit random and all over the place? Structure can also apply specifically to the text type. For example, if you're writing a letter, you probably know that a letter has a very clear structure where you often start with the date and the address, and then you go into dear so-and-so, and then a beginning, middle, end letter, and then yours sincerely. Are you following along the structure of the type of text you're writing? That's going to be something they're looking at for this aspect of the marking criteria. Third is language choices. In essence, does your writing suit what you've been asked to do? In other words, are you writing formally when you need to be writing formally, or have you adopted a kind of more casual, informal tone when appropriate? Are you using appropriate words and language? Do they suit the type of text you're being asked to write again? And is there some variety in your writing, in your word selection, in your sentence construction, or is it all a little bit repetitive? Do you fall back on words that you use time and time again? Are all your sentences kind of boring because they're the same length? These are the kinds of things you're being marked on here. Last but not least, it's accuracy. This one's super easy. Are you just making way too many mistakes? If you're making lots of mistakes in spelling, punctuation, and grammar, this is where you're going to get hit in the accuracy area. Does your writing make sense? If it does, you'll be okay. If it doesn't, again, it's inaccurate, it lacks control. And this is where editing and revising your work is super important, because 9 times out of 10 you can go back and you can clean up all those mistakes and pass the assessment and never have to do it again. Whereas if you just hit submit without thinking, there's probably some mistakes in there. I hate to break it to you. So what is my advice if you want to do well in this? Okay, you got to practice. I always say this. Go find some past papers, have a go at writing responses to them, give them to your teacher, get your teacher to mark them against this criteria. Figure out where your weak areas are so that you can work on them. If it's accuracy, go to town on accuracy. There's no point worrying about the other stuff if you're doing that well, if accuracy is the thing that's going to cost you the grade in the long run. Stick to the word counts, super important. If it's 150 to 250 words, stay in that window. Don't go lower, but certainly don't go too much higher either. You really need to stay in those windows. They're there for a reason, those word counts. Pay attention to them. Take your time. You can stay in the assessment for as long as you want, within reason, as long as your teachers are kind of there and, you know, maybe they've taken their lunch with them so they can stay a bit later and let you finish. You have all the time in the world. Don't feel pressure to leave just because your mate did. Stay there, get it right. They'll be the ones who are having to do it again next time around when you can be, I don't know, like eating a donut at break time, never worrying about doing this silly old assessment ever again. Last but not least, develop some proofreading and editing processes. As I say in building, measure twice, cut once, proofread a couple of times, fix those mistakes. You won't have to do it again. You'll pass. Boom. That is the CAA Literacy Writing Co-requisite. That's how it is marked. That is the mark scheme. I do have a longer video you can go check out if you want a little bit more detail, but I hope that's helpful to you. Good luck with this, and until next time, I'm the Lit Teacher. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Ka kite, and as always, up the waz.